Hey guys, happy to see you. You are good
Hey,
looking.
nice to see you. Hi, Robert. Hi, everyone.
Hey, hello
How
there.
are you today?
We're great, thank you. I hope everyone's feeling great as well, no matter if they're starting their day or ending it, just like us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Adrian, he's the product manager here at Creatopy, and he's also his passion are, let me say that, are climbing and skiing.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah,
Great. And Benjamin, his passion are hiking, right? So you're kind of a mountain guys.
correct.
I am. Second to ethic, everything what's happening. Yeah.
Everything around X-Tech, and when you're not with your laptop in front of you, you are somewhere on the mountain. So today, guys, we won't talk about the mountains, but we will talk about the big mountain that is the programmatic advertising. So from now on, I will share the slides of you. I will get up from the stage, and the stage is yours. So before you will start, let me do some house rules here. If you have any other question, just let us in the chat. We will have some surprise for you at the end of the webinar. But if you have some questions about what the guys are saying or presenting, let us know in the chat. Also, at the end, we will have a Q&A session. So just let us know your question. I will ask them, they will answer, and we will make sure for all the questions to be answered. So thank you very much. And also, this video will be recorded. You will get the video in your email and also on our landing page. But I think that it's most important to be here and together live this experience. So yes, Adrian, Benjamin, here is your stage. I'm walking off. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So great to see everyone, and today we'll go through some topics together. First, we'll have a look at today's landscape in advertising, how things look like when we're talking about ecosystem that we're in today. Then we're gonna have a look at how programmatic is compared to traditional media buying, and then I'll leave you with some tips regarding what mistakes to avoid when it comes to starting out or building a programmatic advertising campaign. And after that, Ben is going to tell you a little bit more about the use cases and how you can get advantage of content or ad personalization and dynamic ads. And finally, we can have some Q&A. So let's get it started. And what I want to start with is when we look at the advertising landscape today, it's a bit of a battleground. So consumer device manufacturer Apple sided with consumers to protect them from the increased tracking that was taking place in the last couple of years. And many times it was also without the consumer's knowledge or without the customer's knowledge, and they didn't have the right or the option to revoke it when they didn't want to give that consent at some point. Then during COVID, we saw some consumer packaged goods have really good sales, and they had a really good time, but travel and tourism generally suffered. So while some industries maybe needed almost no advertising, I think others struggled to find the right audience and target their ads. So as we speak, tech companies scramble amidst an economic uncertainty, and I think it will fall on the shoulders of marketers to reach exactly the right audience, offer a personalized experience in a market where consumers like Gen Zers, they pay a lot of attention to what they buy, and we're not anymore in a place where products fly off the shelves. Great. So if we have a look at this slide, what we see here is the entire ad ecosystem. And if you're only doing social and maybe some Google ads, then this picture reduces to five or four or five logos. So no wonder marketers are and businesses are reluctant to get into programmatic ads, because it's a lot to take in. So this is not discourage you in any way, because any brand or CMOs with a chief marketing officer can start looking at how programmatic can help them achieve their goals, but they can also take it a step further. They can take it step by step, and they can start out with an agency or bringing some knowledge in-house. Now, when we look specifically at programmatic versus traditional media buying, I hope there are some fans of Mad Men here, and you remember Don Drape, how he was doing his advertising, because that's the historical perspective, and that's where the programmatic ads have their roots. So if we go back, in that day, only agencies and large companies, corporations had access to the whole suite of ad production, all those creatives that you might see in the movie, and the agencies were doing the ad space buying. But now with programmatic, and everybody in this field, the trade desks have worked to make buying available to more businesses, and while also improving many aspects of what you can do with programmatic ads, all while keeping the costs low. So what programmatic does, it helps marketers look at things holistically. It enables them, it enables relevant ad targeting to consumers, and it helps marketers make data-driven choices. If we look at the price you pay for some of these ads, when you're buying ad space directly, you might end up overpaying and can, sometimes, or you can rarely benefit from the targeting tools that programmatic offers. So when the automatic bidding takes place, even if that particular audience is valuable for an advertiser, it's an open market that decides the price, and the price that is paid through, it's regulated through supply and demand. All right. And also another aspect of programmatic is that you can analyze all your performance metrics in one place, rather than having to pull together all sorts of data from lots of places. That can become, this gathering and consolidating data from various publishers is cumbersome and time consuming. So DSPs offer the advantage of seeing all KPIs and performance data in one place. And you can also easily connect with even more powerful third-party analytics tools. What's also great about programmatic is the way you can manage your reach and frequency. So when you're doing programmatic, since you're managing all the ad buying from channels to, in the same place, you can limit your frequency across all channels. So you become, so you avoid becoming annoying with your ads instead of delighting your audience. So for example, if you're, if connected, connected TV is a great channel, and with a frequency cap of 5, you ensure that users that seen your ads on mobile and desktop, they won't arrive at home and see again, a couple more times than necessary your ad, and you avoid ad fatigue in this way. Now, when we talk about campaign optimization, Another great thing is that you can optimize your strategy as you go. And if your initial assumptions are, incorrect, or you want to switch strategies, then you can, you can retarget and change strategy mid-campaign. All right. And another great thing is that you can optimize your creatives. So we see again that a direct approach limits you in terms of adjusting the audience, but also in terms of creatives you use. So if you have some insights mid-campaign, it will be very difficult, if not impossible, to adjust the creative on the flight if you've done direct deals. Additionally, you can show different creatives to different audiences based on location or other custom parameters that you can find they might work for you, and for example perform A/B testing. Now I want to leave you with the 5 mistakes to avoid once you're starting out in the programmatic campaigns. And the first one is that without there's really no campaign should be started without a clear goal. And I think this is well understood by marketers, that each campaign must have a clear goal. What you can do here is, with the help of second or third party audiences, is go even more deep and even more specific, and go for goals like increasing brand awareness for Gen Zers that are into fashion. And so you can grow your fashion brand, for example. And one of the other mistakes that I've seen is that people don't really take the time, or companies don't really take the time to understand the way customers behave. So knowing what were the steps leading to your customers making a purchase is often overlooked and not well understood by many companies. So there's a jobs to be done framework you can use, for example, that can help you and the entire company to find out how customers go from being dissatisfied with their existing product, solution, or service, and they go into the active looking phase, and then based on what they did afterwards, how they took the decision to buy. So this way, at every slice of the funnel, you will have the right messaging and you will show it to the right audience. As you have seen, the world of programmatic can become a bit overwhelming at first. So as a CMO, you have to make sure that you train your team before you start, and ideally, for faster implementation, you can bring in a person that already has the know-how. It can take somewhere around 2 months, depending on the DSP, to get an account started and going. But you can cut that in half or even less if you start out and partner with an agency. That first-party data that you have from users that are already converted will be needed for the algorithm inside DSPs to find audience of people whose data shows they will likely take similar action to people that already converted. So this is a fundamental way to get the best ROI when you start out with programmatic. Now, working with creative agencies to develop sound creative strategies is informed by data. And too often the creative agencies and production shops are brought together in the process after all the big decisions are made. So what we strive for is to get marketers and creative teams together from the get-go. And in this way, the whole campaign will have a holistic approach, and you can create the best experience for the customer. And because there's like a gray area between the creative people and marketers, where the ads need to be personalized and they need to change according to the audience you're showing it to. It's really important to have this set from the get-go. So I want to leave you with a quote from Gary Vee. As you know, he has his agency of VaynerMedia, and he saw it right from the start that it's really important to have these two starting together and work their way through a campaign and have a lot of learnings while they launch the campaign. So they're doing a lot of A/B testing. They're testing up to 30 creatives at one time. They're looking at the response in social media for them, and they adjust their campaigns, mid-flight. And I think that's really what's different in today's landscape, the fact that you always need to adjust and you always find out new insights, or people react to your campaign and you might even improve it with some of those insights. Yeah, that was from me. So I'll let Benny continue and tell you how you can achieve all of this.
Okay. Thank you, Adi, for all this introduction and insights into the programmatic world. Let's see, and let's try to dive a bit deeper into this field. And in the next couple of minutes, I'll try to look on some specific terms, some concepts, and some solutions that resolve some of the problems in this field. So, programmatic advertising, it's maybe a new word, but actually, most of us we are using it in some areas already. But today we'll look in some specific maybe things that are related to programmatic creatives and things like this. But before going in technically in stuff, I want to mention something which is really important. What the consumers what are the feelings of consumers about this, how they see it. And if you are looking at this report, which was made by Insider Intelligence, actually 73% of consumers expect companies to understand their unique needs and expectations. And actually this number is huge, right? What is really interesting also is that the number changed positively if you compare it with the 2 years ago, where it was 66. So if you are looking in time, maybe also for us, if you are thinking, in the beginning, most of us were a bit scared about this, but actually nowadays, with so little time left to do your own research or everything, people start to accept and value more personalized content. So are you agree on this, or you just look at the data and maybe are a bit, concerned? So having this in mind and seeing the data, seeing the report, what do you think should be our top priority for coming period? I know that for small businesses, not all this might be doable, right? And actually, currently, Facebook is advertising on this segment, on the small businesses, to do broad targeting, and they're figuring out actually all the things. And but this is not real for everybody. When you're trying to create a beautiful experience for your customers, knowing their needs, it has to start actually with the first commercial they use, so just from the beginning. So let's see a bit of overview how actually programmatic is working. I'll try to not bore you too much with this technical part, and we'll try to get as soon as possible to the part where we can see real actual examples. As you can see in this in this picture, we can see exactly what happens when an agency or a brand is trying to put his ad in the open market. You can see from the left to the right, the publisher is putting his places and spaces for selling, and actually there are multiple ways he can do this. He can do a direct sell, he can do programmatic direct, private marketing, and private marketplace and open market. And of course, direct is still something traditional, but actually also in direct mode is something that programmatic can work. With the exception of direct, everything else it's programmatic, so it can be done. Everything which is in open, of course, will pass through the exchanges or ad networks, and after that, fetching the creative from the advertiser. Now, as I said, we're trying to explore some concepts about things that are trying to resolve or find some solutions to problems in this specific area. Especially when we are talking about personalized content, there are some things that can fix or have solutions for this. So one of them is dynamic ads. We'll talk a bit about personalized content and also about DCO. In short, all three come as a solution for increasing our ROAS or improving return of investment for the brand. So dynamic ads refers to the capacity of creative to show different content, images, copy that are most effective and relevant for the user. When we talk about personalization, you can actually go a bit deeper, having something maybe even personally if you have this info for your targeted audience. Of course, dynamic creative optimization will try to do this in the flight mode as the creative is traffic. Now, there is this question, how can programmatic ads help us in a post-cookie world? As Adi said, there are these problems that, I don't know, we were thinking 2 years ago, and even that today we are not 100% there, so we are not in a full post-cookie world. Actually, we have to prepare for this more and more. And the answer to this question is about data-driven creatives, and we'll try to see how we can do this and what's actually behind it. But to better understand this, I want to remember you about a campaign that Spotify is doing for a couple of years. It's about Spotify Wrapped. If you know about it, it started in 2016, and at the end of each year, they show you the most listened songs that you did the whole year. What was really interesting this last year is that they looked a bit deeper into what people exactly listen. By understanding the mood, they actually, what they do, they created an audio aura, how they call it, and actually this is the kind of mood which they feel they found it present in the most listened songs. With this music aura, Spotify was able to recognize the mood of the song and associate it with a color, creating a personalized color palette for each individual user and creating a truly original and engaging content. So we can say that the success of this campaign, which currently is reaching millions of users that are waiting for this to happen at the end of the year, is actually about the high level of personalization that they did each year, of course, and with this new thing when they launched it last year. Now, with all this in mind, let's see some real use cases that actually you could already do. So I will try to explain a bit about the context of one campaign or one ad, okay, how it's done and what is the result of it. So just think about a brand that is targeting people that travel worldwide, and actually they want to sell, okay, or maybe to for the user to hire a local to guide in the city. Probably you know about this type of businesses. They are maybe more of those, but just thinking about. So what the strategy was is to show localized message for each city, and also when the user and the end user is taking or hitting the ad, it should be taken to the right place. Now, of course, without some automation behind, you cannot do this, or it's really impossible, especially in display advertising, but also on the others. So this is how the ad is looking. Okay, so it's about discovering the city where you are exactly at that point, and of course, somehow it should be dynamic. So it should have this content dynamic inside it. So let's try actually to see how this is working. So if you don't mind, please take your phone and just scan this, and just place a comment in the chat if you are seeing the right variation. I will stop just a couple of seconds to scan mine. Okay, so thumbs up if you see the right ad and it's personalized for you. Okay, I see some thumbs up. That means that it's actually working. Good, thank you. Okay, so there is one place that is not working. We can see exactly after it. Thank you. Okay, so how was this done? So I'll just quickly show you. Actually, it's really simple. You just insert some macro codes inside the creative itself. You after that put some default values, of course, if something maybe it's not working, and after that you just start traffic your ad. So no dependencies, everything works automatically inside the platform. Now, I will try to go a bit deeper. Of course, there are unlimited possibilities to talk about different scenarios, but I wanted to show you some really simple maybe, and after that a bit more complex. And of course, we can talk after about some maybe even complexer things that also can be possible. So we are here for you actually to try to explore different approaches to your needs. Another maybe a bit more advanced would be one brand, okay, one restaurant, okay, that is targeting local people from the current city, of course, but actually they want to personalize somehow the message they put in the creative without having too much effort, and they want actually to have some conditions regarding the time they see the ad. So in the morning, they thought maybe would be better to show to the user something like let's drink your coffee, a coffee in with us or something like this. In the afternoon, something else. But also they thought, what about if this would be also based on weather conditions? So if it's cold or maybe it's warm, we can invite the people to see something else. Of course, the challenge is, again, if it's just three variations, you can put it in any campaign and it's working. But because it somehow depends on the weather, and of course on time, this can be a bit more complicated. So what I did, created three variations of the ad. So as I said, they had one for the cold evening, they had one for the morning, and also they had something for the evening when it's cold outside. So you can put everything else, dynamic layout or anything else on that variation. As I said, these are the conditions that actually you will put it in a smart sheet where you can put the conditions for each variation. Of course, you can bring the weather, you can bring the local time, everything in a smart sheet. After that, you can put also the content actually that you want to dynamic change, like the headline, the image, background colors. Of course, you can swap up different things around the creative. So once you have the things that you have to change, of course, you create the variations. Then the next step would be to connect it to the creative inside the application, and after that, everything will work automatically. I will not put you to scan this because it's an ad that it's targeted a local city. Okay, so it will look the same for everybody because the time is the same, and of course the weather is current to that local city. But it was just an example to show what are the possibilities to create. Now, before going to the Q&A section, I just want to have just a quick look of the benefits of data-driven creatives that we all should look into. So, of course, they are high efficient. It's one design that swaps out the content and populates the ad on the fly. Of course, it serves the most relevant ad for the user that you have in your strategy. And of course, it's really simple to traffic because you have only one ad that you have to traffic, not hundreds maybe of variations that could be done otherwise. To be successful also on this, I think the key is to collaborate. So as Adi said from the beginning, you need to understand all the data that's available or the signals that you can collect, the technology, how it works, and after that, actually you have to decide which would be better for your use case. In the second thing, of course, you have to work with the agency, or maybe you have an in-house team that can do this, and of course with the solutions that you want to use. And after that, you also have to collaborate during the campaign when exactly it's working, to see if everything is okay. Maybe you want to do some testing on it, A/B testing or things like this in the flight mode of the campaign.